The Auburn student athletes are Horace Spencer and Jared Harper. And now we'll take questions for the student athletes.
Philip Marshall, Auburn 247 Sports. Horace, could you just talk about first your performance last night, particularly defensively, and how you have kind of coped since Anthony's been out with a different kind of role?
I feel like I took on a bigger role because Anthony being out, I had to pick up some more minutes and had to find a way to stay out of foul trouble yesterday. Just playing smarter and just trying to dial it back a little bit. Let the game come to me and just see what happens from there.
Mark Murphy from Inside the Auburn Tigers. Jared and Horace, could you talk about what you've seen in Clemson so far from your scouting report?
Just from what we see so far, they're a good offensive team. They have a lot of good sets, and they like to just be able to get in the lane and force people to help. So we have to challenge ourselves to keep our man in front of us and be able for them to see bodies so they don't tap.
Same question for you, Horace.
I feel like their bigs got a real dominant presence in the paint, and I got to figure out a way to keep that presence as a restraint and keep the paint under control as the dominant big on my team.
When you guys were up at Charleston at the Charleston Classic, did you watch them play when you guys were up there? Did you see them? Because they were in the same tournament.
No. Honestly, I don't remember.
No, okay.
No, I don't think we did.
Okay.
Max Bonstetter, Sports Illustrated. You were a part of Auburn history last night with your first March Madness win in nearly 15 years. You did it with elite defense. How does Coach Pearl prepare you to play such great defense in such a big game?
I'm just going into every game. We know if we defend and rebound, we can play with anybody. So going into the game, we knew if we could defend and rebound, and we weren't making our shots, so something had to happen, and that was our defense.
I felt like defense is the main part that we can personally control. You can't always control if your shots falling or not, but defense mostly effort and energy, and that we had to bring that effort and energy in the first and second half of the game.
Mark Ziegler, San Diego Union Tribune. For Jared, I don't know if you saw the NCAA statement about the free throws yesterday, the late free throw. What happened on that? Were you surprised you were put on the line, or did you know what was going on and just said, I'm going to go to the line and not say anything?
No, it's just the ref, after the foul, the ref pointed at me to go to the line, so I just stepped up and went to the line. Simple as that, yeah. Did you
know that you didn't get fouled?
I don't really know. I just know the ref told me to go, so I went. So,
So
yeah.
you weren't aware that you're a better free throw shooter and you'd be better off with you on the line maybe?
I know I'm a great free throw shooter, and I also know that Chuma's a great free throw shooter, but the ref, like I said, pointed at me, so I went to the line.
Ellie Lieberman, SB Nation. You guys are a pretty young team. Jared, what have you learned from Mustafa Heron as a guard? I know he's only a sophomore, but what are the biggest takeaways from his game?
Just he's a hard worker. That's the number one thing. So I know a lot of us spend time in the gym, so we all learn from that. We all learn from one another with being in the gym. He's also a great competitor, which I think comes with a lot of our teammates. A lot of our teammates don't like to lose. We like to win, and just going along with that, we're just a family together. So yeah.
And you guys are both really involved in the community. What have you learned from him off the court as a leader?
Just that he cares for other. He also cares for other people. He doesn't only care for himself. So that's another thing that I've learned from him.
Philip Marshall, 247 Sports. Horace, could you just talk about how hard it was for you to deal with it when Anthony went down, and how he's handled it, and how he's maybe helped you out some in the process?
When he had hurt his foot, it was really emotional. I mean, a couple of us cried. And I just knew that game coming in the second half that I had to be even more of a presence and more of a leader just for the team, so that even though he's gone, there still ain't no drop-off. There's still no drop-off in the paint. I'm going to have to take on a more dominant role, like I said earlier. And just now knowing that he hasn't came back, I just had to pick it up, play smart. Even though I'm not more of an offensive presence like he was shooting threes, I still had to figure out a way to be an offensive threat. Now I can pass the ball more. I can pass the ball, I can help my teammates get shots, and just just be more of a facilitator that way.
Todd Leonard from the San Diego Union Tribune. For both you guys, Auburn's known as mostly a football school. What was it like kind of going to a school where you knew right off the bat that football was kind of up there on another level? And did they kind of use football in recruiting at all with you guys? Did you guys go to football games? Did you visit with the football coaches? Kind of, what's the culture like there with that?
Yeah, well, personally, both of us have been to football games, but I just think coming to Auburn, a lot of everybody on the team wanted to make history. That was a part of one of our goals for coming to Auburn, to start a new tradition, a new winning program. So we've been able to do that for the last couple of years, and we're getting better and better every year.
With me being the junior of the team, yeah, I came in when the basketball team was at its lowest peak, So it was a major football school, and yeah, football was a big part of me coming here. Cause I'm not big on football, but I like to watch it. You know what I'm saying? I like to see that our football team is great, and I wanted to use that as motivation for the basketball team to be also great as well. That it's not just a football school; it can be a basketball school as well. Like more like a challenge to the basketball team.
Did you go to football games? Hold on, wait for the microphone.
Thank you. Did you go to football games as a recruit?
No, I did not. I was really on the basketball court.
Mark Zeller, San Diego Union Tribune. When most people think Auburn, they think Charles Barkley, Auburn and basketball. Have you guys ever met him? And how much of a factor is that when you go to Auburn to play basketball? Is it in your mind, and is he talked about?
Yeah, we met Charles. Charles is a great guy. He's a big factor. He comes to the locker room, talk to us sometimes, to give us little inspirational speeches, and just having Charles be one of the alumni is probably one of a great attribute to have to Auburn basketball.
Oh, yeah, I agree. He's been successful at every level. For him to come back and just encourage us to see where he's been and where we're going, it's always good.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Okay, thank you. Good luck
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
right, reminder, silence your cell phones, announce your name and media affiliation when asking questions, limit of 1 follow-up, and raise your hand and we'll bring a microphone to you. And we'll begin with Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl with an opening statement.
Well, we are we're glad to still be in it. I don't know how many teams are left. I know as of last night there were 32, and I think there are probably only 30 or so left, and we're still alive. It's sort of been the story of our season all year long. These kids have just kept finding a way. You know, for us last night, turning College of Charleston over 21 times when they averaged like 9. Davion Mitchell, a freshman, having to come in there and play 19 minutes in the first half because Jared Harper's got 2 fouls. And he really led the defensive charge for us. He disrupted the game with his ability to guard, and we all sort of picked up on that. And it's a good thing because offensively we were crippled. We didn't execute. We didn't shoot it very well. We had some pretty good looks. We didn't take advantage of it, but I give College of Charleston credit. We're going to have to play a lot better to be able to challenge Clemson tomorrow.
We'll start on the left.
Philip Marshall, 247 Sports. Bruce, the free throw shooting last night was 15 out of 32. Is there any way to know why something like that happens, and is there anything you can do to make sure it doesn't become a mental block going forward?
I don't think it will. I think we'll be fine. What's the explanation? Sometimes if you're in a dome and the shooting background is different and the depth perception is a factor, sometimes in a dome, and I've been there, I've played some games in convention halls where they wheeled some baskets in and the rims are tight. These rims aren't tight. It's a college venue, and they got nice rims, and so there really isn't any other reason other than either a lack of focus or just jitters, you know, just being a little tight. And we've been a great free throw shooting team all year long, and I'm sure we'll do a better job tomorrow.
JamesCrepea-auth.com. Bruce, 6 of the last 8 games, you guys have shot less than 40%. That's not how your season was going. How, in the most simple terms, how do you improve shooting from the field?
You know, when you run as much ball screen spread as we do, the defense determines who's going to be open. And they're not going to have Bryce Brown open, and they're not going to have Mustafa Heron open, and they're probably going to guard our guards. So guys like Deshaun Murray or Chuma Okeke or Horace Spencer, those guys are getting open more in our ball screen spread stuff. And so their ability to either make those shots or take advantage of the disadvantage created by the ball screen by putting it on the floor and then creating for somebody else is got to be the key. We're not going to start being more of a post-up team. You know, we're still going to be able to score in transition, out of spread, and but we just got to make better decisions in advantage disadvantage. I think the second thing would be this. I think Bryce Brown is a real key for us. In the second half of South Carolina, he made, I think, 6 or 7 threes. In the second half last night against College of Charleston, he made 3, and that was important for us. I got to have Bryce try and be patient, more patient early in the game, and then once he makes one, then we're going to feed the monster, and let him go. I thought he forced things a little bit too much trying to get himself going, and as a result, his percentages haven't been as good.
And as a follow to that, because it's been the last 8 games, how much of the dip in field goal percentage is because Anthony's not there to clean up because he was taking high percentage shots? And as a second part to him, we spoke to him last night. He said that doctors had taken a month off of his recovery time. Can you just update it to where it stands for him recovery-wise?
Now you've covered us all season long, and I don't think there's a time where we, in answer to a question at a press conference or even in our own private conversations, where I made an excuse. And so we miss Anthony because of the things that he does. As a stretch 5-man who can pick and pop and pick and roll, he was a dangerous weapon. Shot a good percentage from 3, and he was our best finisher at the rim. Obviously, his rim protection. For his size, he might have been the best shot blocker in the country. Our emphasis has been, while we miss Anthony, we're seeing Chuma Kiki more. We're seeing more of Deshaun Murray, and we're seeing more of Horace Spencer, and that's a good thing. And it's interesting because the answer to your first question was about our shooting percentages. Those guys are getting more looks, and we just got to be they got to just be more productive. But clearly, we miss Anthony on both ends of the floor, and but we're still good enough to win without him.
In the front here, Coach.
Max Bonstetter, Sports Illustrated. So the SEC has, in general, been known to be a football conference. What does it mean to you as a coach to lead your team this far into the tournament? And I know you guys aren't done yet.
Well, Max, I think for me, I take great pride in the SEC. This is my 10th season, and it's my 7th time in 10 years in the NCAA Tournament representing the SEC. And I feel a responsibility because of the perception of what basketball's been like. But just like there's perception and reality, I don't think that perception's always been accurate. Like, one of the things that you know about SEC football is the defense. It's the speed. It's the physicality. It's the quickness. It's the explosiveness. That's what separates SEC football from everybody else, is on the defensive side of the ball, guys that can fly around, that are big, strong, and fast. Well, why can't we ever relate that to basketball? Wasn't South Carolina last year big, strong, and fast? Or Florida, or Kentucky? Tennessee basketball right now, they're big, they're strong, and they're fast. And so we need to, rather than making excuses, we say, you know what? SEC basketball is a lot like SEC football. We were big, strong, and fast last night in beating College of Charleston. Our athleticism, our speed, our toughness created 21 turnovers. And that was a big factor for us. So I think I'm very pleased with the fact that the league got 8 teams in, and hopefully we'll continue to advance.
Greg Austin, Auburn-Tigers.com. You mentioned the jitters. Now that you've played a game and the players have that experience, know what to expect, do you think that'll help, come Sunday?
Well, I'm not saying. I think the jitters was an explanation for maybe the free throw shooting. I don't think that had anything else to do with the outcome. College of Charleston is a team that's good enough to beat a lot of teams in this tournament. They were good enough to beat us. Their guard play is really good, and Brentley is a nightmare matchup for anybody. And so it was a good win last night. When Chile has 2 points, he averages 18 or 19, and he's one of the best players in that league. So I just think the explanation was the free throw shooting. Now, Clemson, I think Clemson, their 3 guards are as good as any 3 guards in this tournament, period. I think they've shown that all year long. And then they've got a pro at center in Thomas. And so they've got 4 dudes out there that can really play. And the other guys are good, real good complementary players. So, I mean, Clemson's beaten Ohio State and Florida and North Carolina and Miami. They've had some pretty big wins. So what I told the team, the next 5, we got to win 5 more to win a national championship. Every one of the teams that we will play right now for the rest of the way are good enough to play in the Final Four, every single one of them. So it's going to take more than not being jittery tomorrow to beat Clemson.
With that said, do you expect more shots to fall, though, for you guys?
I do. I actually think we'll shoot better. I think we will shoot better from the perimeter. We have no choice. We've got to be able to knock down shots. We've got to get some better looks, and believe it or not, to get better looks, I think we actually have to be more patient. Not shoot the first one that's open.
Aaron Torres with The Athletic back here. Kind of to follow up on that football question, Coach Brownell a few days ago talked about how he used the football program to help build up his program, bringing recruits to games, the excitement around campus. Have you had a similar experience, both really at Tennessee but also here at Auburn?
Absolutely. I mean, we football home weekends are our big recruiting weekend. There's nothing like SEC football. At home or on the road. I love to go to road SEC football games because there's 30,000 fans that travel on the road in every SEC venue. And it's a great party. It's a great celebration. The support it's incredible. And so when you bring a kid to campus, you bring somebody to Auburn for a home football weekend. I mean, the pro pregame atmosphere, it's as good as anywhere in the country, none better, to be on the field for the Iron Bowl or, the Georgia game or, whatever it is. So absolutely. And Coach Malzahn, he's probably the best recruiter I have. I mean, he'll sit down and visit with prospects, and he'll tell those guys what separates Auburn. And the same thing that separates Auburn in football, what separates us in basketball. If guys want to focus on their books and their basketball, their bodies and their Bible, Auburn's a great place to come. It's a real fit. And what I want guys that can fit. And if they want something that's going to be, too fast and, too big of city and they want to get lost someplace, this is not a great place to come because everybody in town is going to know who they are. But a lot of times that makes guys great.
Important follow-up. What's your favorite SEC road venue outside Auburn not being a road venue, of course?
I guess Tennessee would probably be my favorite road. I mean, come on, what else do you expect me to say, right? Tennessee and Auburn have got the two best venues in the SEC.
Mark Ziegler, San Diego Union Tribune. NCAA put out a statement today saying that Jared was not supposed to shoot that free throw last night. Were you aware of that? I know sometimes coaches are aware and just kind of look the other way and hope for the best. And what happened on that play?
Yeah, I saw that on the bus coming in. I had no idea until the statement came out that it was even an issue. So I don't know any more about it from last night than what you do. What I understand was that Chuma got the rebound and immediately got it to Jared, and the whistle blew. And upon awarding the free throw, they pointed to Jared as the shooter. I don't think they pointed to Chuma and Jared went to the line. I think they pointed to Jared, and so I think there may have been contact with Chuma, and when Jared first got it, there may have been contact with him. And so, because they were trying to foul. And so, but I didn't know anything about it until coming on the bus over to the game.
First row and then second row.
Philip Marshall, Auburn 247 Sports. Bruce, Horace, to this untrained eye, seemed to play really strong last night. How much better has he gotten since Anthony went down, and how crucial is it that he keep that up and stay in the game?
I mean, it's crucial. I mean, like we did individual offense today, and guards were down one end and the bigs were down the other. I had 5 guys down at one end and I had 3 guys down the other, and one of them was 6'3". And Horace and Chuma and Deshaun, that's our front line, and so for Horace, I just can't emphasize so much what a leader he is in our locker room. He's an older soul. He has to be because he's a father. And Avery celebrated his first birthday yesterday, and so what a special birthday present for his for his son. Horace has been forced to grow up real fast because of some challenges at home, and he had a tough upbringing, a lot of love, but a lot of challenges. And as a result, little things, little problems aren't that big a deal to Horace because he knows what real challenges are all about. And he's also very blessed to be here. He knows how far we've come. He remembers it when he first got there, and we were light years away from even remotely seeing postseason. And now to still be one of 32 teams, Horace feels honored and blessed and feels responsibility to try to take advantage of this opportunity. So he has stepped his game up. He stepped his focus up. He's got his hands full with Thomas tomorrow. But I have no doubt that physically, emotionally, spiritually, Horace Spencer will step up.
Any other questions for Coach Pearl?
Josh Vitale, Opelec Auburn News. Bruce, I know you've seen this Clemson team before, not playing against them, but you saw them in Charleston. What do you think of the matchup, the way the teams match up going in this game?
I think Brad Brownell does as good a job as there is. I mean, he's an outstanding game planner. You try to find a weakness in their offense and go, well, maybe we can play a little zone because they don't do this, or they don't do a very good job with this, and they got great balance. So I think from a standpoint of strategically, I don't see a ton of weaknesses. Their guards play heavy minutes, but they have all season long, so foul trouble could be an issue. I think that we've got to be able to do what we got to be able to make shots. We got Mustafa, and Bryce and Jared and Chuma and Deshaun have got to be able to make our shooters got to be able to make shots. Now, I got to do a better job of getting them good looks, but we got in order for us offensively to be able to win, that's got to be our spread has got to rule the day for us. Jared has got to do a great job in ball screen, attacking the rim and getting our guys shots. We do that, we got a chance.
Justin Ferguson, SEC country. Bruce, you just talked about getting Chuma in those guys more opportunities to shoot. Do you feel like you probably should have got him the ball a little bit more, or try to get him involved a little bit more in the offense last night? He didn't seem to get very many looks. Yes,
yeah. I mean, I would. He definitely needs more touches. He does.
In the other game here, Marshall in West Virginia, you have a team in Marshall and a coach who is heavily in analytics. He's based his team, his system around that. Is there a place for analytics in college basketball? How much do you use them, and where do you see do you see 5-10 years down the road all teams being like that, or is this just kind of a niche thing right now?
Well, I mean, I think it started in the NBA, and that's sort of where it's all spread. I'm a little bit more simple. Threes and frees. I mean, those are two. I mean, it's not a very, complex strategy. We don't have a post game, and yet we go to line a lot because we take the ball to the basket off the bounce, and we're hard to guard, and people put their hands on us because we spread the floor. We try to have the lane open. Like Thomas's, rather than analytics, my big deal tomorrow is how am I going to get Thomas away from the rim? Because if that big dude stays in the rim, it doesn't matter what we do. He's going to block everything, get every rebound. It's a factor. So I think analytics are important, but they don't dominate my thinking.
Any other questions for Coach Pearl? Okay, thank you. Good luck. Thanks.